Hello, world. Another day here on the island of Peggy. If you're all old enough to understand what I'm talking about, good morning to you. Today, we're going to talk about the spiritual and worldly egos. First, we'll look at worldly ego. In general, ego refers to a person's sense of self-importance or self-esteem. It can also refer to the conscious mind, the part of your identity that you consider yourself, and whatever it may be. The ego is part of the psyche and interacts with the outside world and mediates between basic desires and moral constraints. Could be sense of self-worth. This is the most common understanding of ego. It refers to how a person views their own value and importance. A big ego or inflated ego implies an excessive sense of self-importance, often leading to arrogance or a belief in one's superiority over others. Let's think about the world today. Think about why wars start. Conversely, a small ego or lack of self-esteem can lead to feelings of inadequacy or low self-worth. I don't know if I agree with that. These are things that the world considers what ego means. Conscious mind. The ego is part of the mind that is aware of the external world and mediates between the ID, primitive desires, and the superego, moral consciousness. Psychology.com says the ego helps a person make rational decisions by considering both their desires and the potential consequences of their actions. Don't know if I agree with that statement at all. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how they come up with these things. The study of people, I guess. The study of the mind, I'm not really sure. I think they make it too complex. But that's just me. Egotistical. Lots of people out there like that, right? Huge egos, think that they're the best thing since sliced bread. Someone who is egotistical is extremely conceited or absorbed in their self. Self-absorption. Most people, I don't know the percentage, but I'm going to say all leaders that I've ever come across, maybe 75, 80%, have huge egos. They look at their title and say, I'm important. I am this, I am that. Titles mean nothing. Somebody else's ego should mean nothing to you. What you should be concerned of is your own. Keeping that under control. Keeping that at bay. Your ego in relationships. An inflated ego can detrimental to a relationship or relationships, leading to conflict and a lack of empathy. LinkedIn says ego can be a major obstacle in communication and understanding, as it can prevent individuals considering the needs and feelings of others. I agree with that. Healthy versus unhealthy ego. A healthy ego allows for a balanced sense of self-worth and confidence. An unhealthy ego, on the other hand, can can lead to arrogance, insecurity, and relationship problems. I agree with that. Those were, for me, examples of worldly egos. Now, the next one is a spiritual ego. I read through it and I don't know if I agree with any of it, but I'll give a couple examples because I think it's long-winded. I'll read through a few of them. I don't know if I'll get to all of them, but here's what they say about a spiritual ego. It's a form of ego that uses spiritual beliefs and practices to reinforce a sense of self rather than to transcend it. It's when someone identifies strongly with being a spiritual person and uses the identity to feel superior or to judge others. Essentially, it's the ego taking on a spiritual gist. I guess take it for what it's worth. I don't believe that the spiritual people, I consider myself a spiritual person, as we have gone through in many other videos. For me, the identity of a spiritual ego is one of godliness. Maybe they're speaking of a religious ego rather than a spiritual ego, or taking the guidance on or the idea of a religious ego to be one of good, because that's what the world says. I say differ. That's me. A lot may argue with me. A lot may say that I don't know what I'm talking about. Possibility. I'm just giving you my view. Is all I'm giving you. Be careful of your ego. Your ego can start major wars. Doesn't have to be military wars. It could be wars of your mind, wars of the heart, wars of spirituality, wars of thinking your religion is better than someone else's. If we all believe in God, if we all follow His guidance, our ego will never get in the way. Never. I'll read this one. I don't know if it'll do you any good, but I had problems with a lot of this, but I'm going to read it. Ego-driven spirituality. Instead of using spirituality to move beyond the ego, the spiritual ego uses spiritual concepts and practices to fuel the ego's desire for validation, superiority, or control. Okay? Maybe? Some truth to that. Identification with spiritual identity involves strongly identifying with being a spiritual person, often leading to a sense of self-importance based on spiritual beliefs or practices. I guess it could happen. I guess anything could happen. But my spirituality has no meaning of validation. I don't have to validate myself and my spirituality. Superiority. I am more superior than anybody else. I am not. Control. I don't believe that my spirituality goes into any type of control. I don't know. It could, depending on who that person is and how they're using their spirituality. If they allow their ego to get in the way, of course, then just calling yourself spiritual, your ego can get in the way. Being human, I mean, I could see that, but I don't agree with it 100% for sure. Subtle forms of judgment. A spiritual ego can manifest as as subtle judgments about others. Spiritual paths are levels of evolution or a tendency to flaunt one's own spiritual achievements. Again, I believe that more to be on the religious side. When someone calls themselves religious or a churchgoer, spirituality does not come into play. Does not. Oh, you see people praying. They don't call you spiritual, they call you religious. If you're out in the streets like the Pharisees did in the biblical times, even now when people get on TV, I know they're trying to spread the word. But are they true? Is their ego in the way? Their religious ego. I don't believe it's spirituality. Spiritual materialism. This is a term used to describe the use of spirituality as a means to achieve worldly goals or to feel superior to others rather than for genuine spiritual growth. Could happen. It could happen. Again, for me, that just, it lines up with religion. I don't think that spirituality should be brought into religion. That's me. I don't believe it should be. I believe that we need to do, you choose to go to church if you want to. I'm not telling you not to go to church. I'm not telling you not to tithe. I'm not telling you to do anything. Does it make you a better person because you go to church? Does it make you a better person because you consider yourself religious? I don't think so. For me, it's your spirituality. When you go out into the world, your ego is left behind. When you do spiritual things for God, not for self, your ego is left behind. I don't believe any of that. I don't believe any of it. If you are a true spiritual person, not religious, not a Christian, not a Muslim, not a Jew, not a Buddhist. Sometimes you listen to a Buddhist priest and they talk a lot of sense. They talk about goodness a lot. And I believe that most of them practice it. They're just worshiping the wrong God. My view. Not nobody else. My view. Now they're going to break it down from how that a spiritual ego differs from a normal ego. What is normal? What is normal? I just want to look up the meaning of normal real quick, and I want to read it to you. Who's normal? I have no idea. I'm not normal. I'm different. I'm okay with it. What's normal? A worldly sense of normal. What is that? One who's normal. Meaning of normal. Conforming to a standard, usually typical or expected. It's quite normal for puppies to eat their food. What the heck does... Usual, average, or typical state of condition. I don't know. That's normal? I don't know. I don't believe there is... I don't think there should be a word normal. Nothing in this world is normal. It's normal for a person or that person to have an ego as he does or she does. Normal? Why is that normal? I don't know if that word should even exist. I don't know. Normality to what? Think about that. I don't want to waste too much time on that. And then they say it's not about eliminating ego. The spiritual ego isn't about getting rid of the ego entirely, but rather becoming aware of how the ego is operating within a spiritual context. Okay, something I can go with. A spiritual ego in context. It highlights how the ego can adapt and even thrive within spiritual frameworks, using spiritual language and practices to maintain its sense of self. Don't know. Examples of spiritual ego. We've already gone through this: feeling superior, judging, criticizing, focusing on outward displays of spirituality, when people wear certain types of clothing, practicing certain rituals rather than interior or internal transformation. And I'm not going to read any more of this. I'll just briefly go through the titles. Hindrance of genuine spiritual growth. It can be an obstacle to self-awareness. Potential for harm. A spiritual ego can lead to judgmentalism, spiritual bypassing, and disconnect from one's own authentic self. Being self-aware. We've talked about that. Authenticity. Being authentic. Being yourself. Humility, many times in all the videos about being humble. Being mindful. We've talked about that. Focus on service, giving back, right? Giving to others rather than just giving to yourself. Being engaged in selfless service can help to shift the focus from self to others. Continue to practice. Continue to practice to be a good human being. In your process of self-discovery and spiritual evolving, to evolve, evolution, spiritual evolution. I don't know. How do you evolve spiritually? How do you bring the better you? How do you keep your ego in check? By living a spiritual life. By living a life filled with joy, happiness, the desire to do better for others. For the desire of the betterment of others brings betterment to yourself. When you do for others, your ego is set behind you. Confidence, I don't know if that's ego. Some would say it is. I say, if you have self-confidence, it's not about your ego. It's about who you are as a person, how you hold yourself. You're being confident in the things you do, the way you walk, the way you talk. Some people will say, look at his ego. Man, he's got a huge ego because you walk with confidence. I don't think so. It's when you speak. That's where the arrogance comes from. When you are thinking from your mind first, that's where the issues come into play. If you're thinking with your heart first and foremost, before you speak, and the ego is left behind. We can all get caught up in that. The world is caught up in ego. The leaders of the world, of every nation, caught up with their egos. Is it for public safety? Is it for the safety of the people of the world? The wars that are happening right now? The wars within our own country? I think not. I think the egos are so big. This is why the things that are happening right now in our country are happening. This is why the world is a mess. Every single nation watches the United States and what they do. We're not united. The states aren't united. Within the states, we have turmoil. United? Let me tell you why we're not united. Egos. So many different egos. We need to put our egos behind us and leave them there. Learn how to be a simple human being. Not a religious human being, because religion and state don't mix. We need to leave the leaders of the church out of government affairs. Concentrate on the people, as the government needs to concentrate on the same. Leave religion out of it. Bring God into it. "In God we trust" is written all over the American currency, and they want to take it off. Why? Because you no longer want to be godly? And they talk, one of the reasons why is because religion doesn't belong. You're right. Religion doesn't. Spirituality does. Love does. Concentrating on oneself and bringing goodness forth. I don't see the problem. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. I'm going to talk to the men of the world for just a minute, and then I'll let y'all go. Men, be men of God. For your family, most of all. Show your family the goodness of God. I'm not saying speak it. Actions speak louder than words. Go out into the world. Show your kids you're vulnerable. Don't try to be this tough guy. "Oh, my dad's tough." The freak does that have to do with being a good person? So what are you saying to your kids? Have confidence in who you are. Okay. Walk with a big stick, or walk with gentleness. Doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're powerful. You have God. All things are possible with God. You have the shield, the breastplate, the armor of God. Wear it. Wear it, and you will be humble. Wear it, and you shall be safe. Wear it, and you'll be able to protect your family from all harm, from all dangers. Know that the Lord our God is large and in charge. He's watching each and every one of us. He knows our weaknesses. Ask him to help you. If you consider yourself a man of God, not religious, but spiritual man of God. I'm hounding on this because it's important for the men of the world to stand for what's right. It's important. Men of power, it's important that you walk tall with God planted on your forehead. Walk proudly, knowing that God has your back. Speak with God's words to bring peace to the world. We don't need you. Leaders of the world, listen. We don't need you. We don't. If we have each other, if we have God, we don't need you. We have each other. You're going to continue to cause all this grief for each and every one of us. The sorrow that you bring, the families you destroy. Know this, God is watching. God sees every step. He knows every move before you make it. Your book is being written. Your book of life is right there in front of him. He's writing more every day. I hope this message gets across to you men. I hope it does. I hope that people share it. I hope that people understand why I'm doing this. It's not for fame, fortune. God knows. It's not why I'm doing this. This video's going on too long. I'm going to lose your attention. I'm losing my own attention. But I just have so much in my heart that there's such holes in my heart for this world. There's holes in my being. And even people close to me, I pray for you, for your egos. Put them aside. Put them behind you. Leave them there. Leave them there. And you all know who I'm talking to. You all know this. Your titles mean nothing in this world. Nothing. Put your ID badge in and wiggle it in front of people's faces while you announce who you are. Who gives a shit? Not me. Nobody. Don't care who you are. I don't. When you come with a title, I care who you are as a person. I'll tell you I love you. I love each and every one of you. Even those who have done wrong to me, I love you. I always will. I'm nobody. God is using me as a vessel for you. Please stop the madness before it's too late. We still have time. The world is still here. The moon comes out at night. The sun comes up in the morning. Unless it's raining. It's hidden behind the cloud somewhere, but it's there. At that time, when you feel a cloudy day, allow the light that's within you to shine. Now I'm talking to everybody. But men in power today, your egos are in the way. Let them go. Let them go. You're causing evil. You're causing separation in the world. You're causing divide in every country. You're causing hate. You're causing a spirit that we're not going to be able to come back from. You're causing, again, hatred. About every nationality. There's so much divide because of what you've done to us. That's why I call to the people of the world to join hands now and fight together for freedom. For we have no freedom anymore. It's being taken away, not slowly, very rapidly. Understand what's happening. Don't cause damage to personal property of others. Don't do that. It's not worth it. What does it prove? Does it prove you're a tough guy? It proves you're weak. You're weak. You do not have a mind of your own. You have no heart. Money is the root to all evil. Money's not evil. It's It's what we do with it. It's how we take it. All right. Got more to talk about, but time is up. I love y'all. Please, men of the world, unite. Bring families back. Protect us all. God, forgive us for what we do, for we know not what we do. Again, love y'all. Peace. Have a great day.